world how you're attending this conference. You are not getting on airplanes. You are not hanging out in hotels. You're not in those horrible, I shouldn't say horrible, but in those convention centers, and no fear of any disease unless it is brought home by other members of your family. So make sure that you wipe off your headsets and you do wipe off those microphones and whatnot so that you stay healthy, and do not share. But unlike, the conference, whenever I go to the conferences and I'm staying in hotels, I don't know what it is. I get a cold, I get a sinus infection, I get something. So this is cool, all virtual, all the time. I love it. Absolutely love it. You can do it in your jammies. You can do it in your sweats. You can do it in your natural form. However you want to do, we're just glad that you're here and relaxing and enjoying it, which is appropriate to our presentation today. So get those selfie summit, #selfie-summit pictures coming to us across social media so we see what your experience looks like. Also, don't forget that this does not happen in a void. This event is free and open to the public, accessible by 2D and by Quest and Go and Rift and Vive and Valve and and even Samsung Gear. Still love Samsung Gear. Love it and miss using it all the time. So that people have been, accessing and even presenting using the Samsung Gear. I think it's fantastic. Allspace still supports that range of access as well as 2D. So thank you to everybody for showing up. And we also are trying to break a world record in Somnium Space on tomorrow. I kept saying on Saturday. It's tomorrow. Yeah! And please know that it is only accessible through PC device or 2D desktop. So unfortunately, mobile users, we were hoping that they were going to be able to resolve that issue. They haven't yet. So it doesn't matter. We're going to try to break that record. So come join us, whatever it takes, on Saturday. Now, I want to, this is amazing. I am so glad you're here. And your timing of this talk, Dana Maria, is perfect. We are here with the incredible Dana Maria Fanaker.
I don't hear you very well, Laurel. Is that with everybody or is that just me?
Can you re-enter? I think it's you. Can you re-enter while I'm while I'm bragging about you? Beautiful. So she heard that.
Yeah.
So Dana Maria Fanaker is the founder of CaptainVR, longtime sailor and ship's captain of some ancient sailing vessels. She is, for the last 10 years or so, she has been turning her lives around as a personal coach and a professional coach. And she's even training coaches on how to coach. How many coaches can we coach? She is revolutionizing the use of spatial technologies and virtual technologies through apps, through social platforms and whatnot, to help empower people to live a more positive, empowered life. She also lives near an airport or big trucks.
So no, it's the tram. It's the tram.
So it's near the tram and the metro. All right, I love it. So you're going to get some real life sound effects with it. I love it. And so she's one of the first personal and professional coaches who started working with VR, and she's won massive awards, and she's hopefully going to share some of that knowledge. So I want you all to literally sit back and have a great time and understand that VR changes lives. And we're singing. How many people think that VR has changed your life? Come on, give me some hearts. Come on, give me some hearts. Dana Maria, check this out. It's already working before you even got started. And Dana Maria, you're muted. And make sure that you're on megaphone, and let's rock it. Yay, go for it. It's all yours.
Thank you so much, Isabel.
And make sure everyone can see the slides. See the slides.
Yeah, are you controlling the slides?
Yep, unless you want to.
Please do.
Okay.
No, please do. Thank you so much. Next slide, please. Hello, everybody. Mm-hmm. So my mission is to help people to become the captains of their lives, and virtual reality is the most powerful tool to help me with my mission. That's why the name of the company I started is CaptainVR. Please, next slide. Yes. So this idea started when I was a sailor and on big traditional sailing vessels. Next slide, please. And now I'm a life coach with a mission to help people to become the captains of their lives, like I said. And in 2016, I won the prize for the best virtual reality idea in the Netherlands to help people to improve their lives, or for improving lives. And the idea was called Fear or Love. And I believe if you can get rid of all fear that is blocking you from the things that you love, then nothing will stop you from reaching your goals and dreams. And I mean fear that is really in the way of succeeding in life. So not fear that is necessary to be safe. So, and because of this contest, the Samsung VR Challenge, Samsung helped me to start my company, and CaptainVR was born there. And my main focus was helping people to conquer fears, all kinds of fears. So I help people with the fear of public speaking, with wasp phobia, for example, with the fear of heights. And next slide, please. Also the fear of skiing. So that's funny, because how can you be afraid of skiing? But it's not afraid of skiing, especially, but it's the fear of being on a mountain and looking down and needed to ski down. So this woman was already skiing for years, but still she had a fear. And what we did was, I did it for the first time, so it was a tryout. We did it with 3 apps, and we had her in this whole her own gear already, so skis and a whole ski suit on and glasses on, the VR glasses. So it really simulated like she was really on the mountain, and then I helped her get rid of the fear of skiing. I am a ski teacher, so I know how to ski and teach people how to ski. So that is necessary to teach people in VR also as a skier. And within 3 sessions, she had no fear of skiing anymore. And why I talk about this is because fear is related to stress. Because what happens when you are in fear is that you get triggered in the amygdala. So that is responsible for the fight, flight, freeze response. So if you get triggered in the amygdala or your fight, flight, freeze response, your brain doesn't function, or you don't function optimal. And that means that you cannot have a good outcome, or you cannot work as good as well. So what I do in my coaching, I help people to reduce stress. And I do that, and coaching is just one of the tools I use. I use many techniques besides that, but VR coaching is one of the techniques that is really, really helpful, because you can help people in a safe environment and let them practice with that they find challenging or difficult in life. And to repeat this over and over, you can reduce the stress and fear. I will answer all your questions after the presentation. If I speak too loud, too fast, please give me a message, or Laurel a message. And you can also, to not forget your message, please send the message already, or write it down so we can answer them. So stress reduction. How did it start? I myself had a burnout when I was in my early 20s. So I needed to drastically change my life. I needed to have a lifestyle that was healthy, with exercise and with mindfulness. And I started meditating when I was 20 years old. And one time what happened was that I was already working on virtual reality, and then I had to I was in a program that helped entrepreneurs to excel. So in this program, they teach you how to make a prototype on paper. So I will go into that deeper also. But a prototype on paper is just making how you want a virtual reality tool to look like, so people can learn from that. Please, you're not allowed to do any... Yeah, thank you. So on paper, I had this prototype, and what happened was, it was a tool for meditation. And this tool for meditation was with colors, sounds, and smells. And at the same time, while I was making this tool on paper, what happened was that I got a call from it's not a university, but like a college. And they asked me, when I was making this on paper, this prototype, they asked me if they could make a tool with colors, sounds, and smells with me, and they would pay for it, and they would make it for me, and I could keep it, and they just want to have this exercise because they were like a design school. And I was like, oh my God, how is that possible that you make something on paper and then you get a call from people who want exactly the same and want to make it with you? And so we did this. This was the group. We did this in 2017, and we tested this tool on, it's a meditation tool, and we tested this tool on a group of 20 people after that. And we had tested that like in a, how you say it, you cannot, with only stress indicator built inside. So in the app, you have like, can you please go to the next slide? In the app, you have like a stress indicator. I will talk more about that later, how that works, but it is just that you can measure your feelings before and after. So you can really see for yourself if it works or not. So before, for example, you give a stress level 10, that's like the highest stress you can get. And after you give like a stress level 3. So, this tool was is a room, the VR Mood Booster, we call it, and it's changing in different colors. So, and colors have an effect on our mind and well-being. So colors can have a positive effect on our well-being. For example, green. If you have the color green in the office or at your workplace, you will have less people on sick leave. It's proven. It's like scientifically proven to be true. So colors like green, if you have a lot of green in the office, it helps to reduce stress, and it helps to reduce sick leave. So, and also sounds have the same effect. So some sounds, especially nature sounds, birds, the rolling of the sea, so the sea coming in and out, and birds, crickets. How is that? Do I say that right? The crickets in the evening in France, for example, you have this beautiful sound of the crickets. Thank you. Sorry. These sounds have a very positive effect on our well-being. It gives us less stress, you know. So and we use smells. So we used smells, aromatherapy, for example, lavender and eucalyptus and the orange. And orange is proven. If you smell orange, then you feel more happy. So happy feelings are stimulated by the smell of orange. Not the orange, I mean the orange color, but the orange fruit, of course. And also the eucalyptus is helping with the cognitive functions of the brain. So eucalyptus helps you to think clearer and to make faster decisions. And for example, what I said, lavender is helping you to reduce anxiety and also stress. It helps with stress reduction. So this tool was combined with color, sound, and smell. Only at that time, at the first time, at the beginning, we used little bottles of this aromatherapy, and you had to bring it to your nose. So it was not built in the system. So this was the first prototype in 2017. Next slide, please. Yes. Then we also made another another tool, and we called it the mini holiday island. So think about that you are in the office and you're like, it's night when you go to office, or dark, and you come from your office and it's still dark, you know, it's dark again. So it's like it doesn't stimulate well-being or good feelings. So what we want to do is to give comfort in a small period. So what we invented was the mini holiday app. I invented that with the other partner and we did, how you say it, we made this beach chair with sand, and you had to put your naked feet in the sand, go sit in this beach chair, and then already you have put on Nivea sunscreen, and then you put your headset on, and then with your headset in a VR experience, you go with a boat to your island, and like a bounty island, and then you go to the beach, sit there and meditate. So this was also an app we made, and we wanted to test these two apps, the VR Mood Booster and the mini holiday, on a big organization. So we could really measure results or see if it would really work for people in the workplace. So next slide, please. So we found FBTO. FBTO is a very large insurance organization in the Netherlands, and they have employees that deal with stressful communication day by day. You know, people who have a lot of things going on in their lives. They call these insurance companies call desk, and these people are calling 8 hours a day, and it's very stressful. Can you put it to the next slide, please? Sorry. So there's a lot of sick leave because of that in these organizations. They have like, you know, the average organization has like 5% sick leave. It's an average. And if you have like 200 people in this organization, that will cost an organization like 600,000 euros a year. So that's like only 5%, but these organizations have like 9% of sick leave or burnout. And they have like almost 1 million cost a year only for sick leave. So they gain a lot of profit if you can reduce that fact. So, but the thing is, you need to prove it, or else, you can say, of course, that it works. Okay, meditation works. It's proven. Within 8 weeks of meditation, it develops a new gray mass in the brain, and that helps you with clear thinking, with decision making, with healthy and happy way of being. So it's a lot of gaining from meditation, and then we combine it with all the things we do. So, but we need to prove it. So we found organization FBTO to prove it, and then next slide, please. They measured it. We had a 6-week period trial, and we just had this indicator, the mood indicator that measured the stress before and after. We had questionnaires of the people, how they felt about it, and we had KPI measurements. So they themselves did the KPI measurements. So the managers looked at the time of the calls, if they went faster than normal, or if they have more sales, because they also do sales, and or sorry, and if they have the customer satisfaction, if that goes up. So within 6 weeks, we tried the mini holiday and the VR Mood Booster, but the mini holiday, they didn't see any change, but they saw something they saw a different or some progress at the VR Mood Booster. But they could not really touch it because 6 weeks is a very small period. So we decided to do another period. So next slide, please. Another period would be a longer period. So we could measure over a longer period of time to get better results and an objective, real, proof. And then I started looking for other ways. Instead of putting bottles of aromatherapy to your nose, I was looking for ways how I can use sound of smell in a more effective way without any hassle of changing bottles. So the Feel Real mask I found on internet, but I tried to get in touch with them 2 years ago, sent them mails, but I could not really get in touch with them. But I heard now they are really working. So last year they did like a kickstart thing, and they are now working. So, but in that time I was on my own, so I tried everything, and then next slide please. What I did, I decided I'm gonna make my own smell device. So I ordered all sorts of things from Alibaba, like diffusers, but also like I don't know how you say it. It's like spreading. It's a diffuser also, but I tried things out. So I bought a lot of diffusers from Alibaba, and just experimented with. How can you make 7 smells? Because I wanted to have 7 smells, because I use 7 colors and 7 different sounds. How can I make this in a machine that works? So next slide, please. So this is one of the developers I work with, Joost Borschert. He's behind the laptop, and the other one with the VR headset on is one of the students we used from the Technical University of Delft. They made the machine. So he was an electrician, and I also used like a designer, and they made the machine workable according to my idea. So next slide, please. Yeah. So this, sorry. The slide. Sorry. This is the stress indicator. I talked to you about it. This is in the tool. We have a number of indicators that we want to help and let people experience that it really works themselves. So not only for us, the developers or the coaches or the managers who are working with these people on the stressful situations, not only also the people themselves who use the experience. We want them to see proof of that, what they use, that it works. So this is the stress indicator. They have to put before and after. Next slide, please. And this is biofeedback we used. So we used heart rate, heartbeat. We measured the heartbeat, and we measured the HRV, the heart rate variability. And this is also very interesting, because heart rate, if you're in stress, most of the time with most people, your heart goes faster. But if you have, if your stress is reducing, your heartbeat is normally going down. So that you can measure directly, and people can see it. And we use this from Bitalino. Bitalino is a company in Lisbon, Portugal, that are experts in research material. And I used their biofeedback. And also, next slide, please. This is how you put it on the finger. So we use the middle finger to make it more easy. Next slide, please. And this is the heartbeat, how it looks like. So they can see it themselves on a screen. And we also, how you say it, we saved the data. Of course, not with names. It was all anonymous data. Next slide, please. And also we measured the EEG, sorry, EEG, so brain waves. We wanted to see what the brain was doing while we were having people in meditation. So we did that before. So they started measuring before with biofeedback, and during and after. And these measurements were, how you say it, saved and sent to anonymous. So we only had the data from the whole group, and then we could analyze it in the end. But at the same time, the people could see that it had an effect on them themselves, and that was also really helpful. Next slide, please. So it started. This experience started, the VR Mood Booster, at FBTO. Next slide, please. And here is one of the researchers we're working with. She's standing there. This is the test we did the first day before we started the 3-month period. And we had a researcher from Hamburg, a German. She flew to the Netherlands to help me to set up the research. And she's a digital coach expert, a digital tool expert, and also researcher and a psychologist. And she set up the questionnaires as well. So they had before questions, how they experienced the working, how much anxiety they were experiencing, how much stress, and also anger and irritation. So they measured, they questioned everything. They questioned the whole mood of the people before and after. And the results were amazing. Can you please go to the next slide? Oh yeah, this just next slide. It's not interesting. It's just funny, but not so. So we measured the results from the researcher, and that was done by Stella Caraturi. And the people were very enthusiastic. So they felt after the 3-month period, before they had experienced tiredness, irritation, high level of stress, and after the stress was gone, the irritation was gone, a lot of things were gone. They just were still a little bit tired, so the tiredness didn't go, but the rest of all the negative emotions were gone or reduced to like at least 50%. So that was really, really, really promising. And then, but this is always interesting, of course, but for a company or organization is only really interesting, the only real interesting thing is the KPI. So the key performance indicator. How does it feel, how does it look in business wise? How does it look in money actually? Does it deliver? Because they need to take people out of the line and give them time to meditation. So it was only 3 times a week for 10 minutes. 3 times a week for 10 minutes, but it costs a lot of money if the people are not on the phone but are meditating. So you need to come with really good results, so they are willing to pay for it, but also pay for the people who are not actually working and during that time are meditating. But what happened was you saw a big difference in, you see all people happy. You saw a big difference in satisfaction of the customer. You saw a big difference in, in conversion. So the sales went up, but a very, very big difference in how fast they could answer the phone, or the guide the people on the phone with questions to the right answers. So the calls were much faster than the other people who didn't use the VR Mode Booster. So, and that was already, they saved because of that 200,000 euro. And that was really a big, promising thing for us that it worked. Because of course, we all want to say, yes, it works, and meditation works, and the combining of the color and the smell and the sound, that really works. But if you cannot really prove it, then it's just talk. But it's sometimes really hard to really prove, because this is not clinical investigation or scientifically research. It's not, if you want to do it clinical, you have to have people doing it at the same time, and they have to have the same lunch, and the temperature needs to be the same every day. And it's a lot of things that combine if you want to have really scientifically researched, real scientifically researched. It is really hard to be do. But in this way, we try to give proof, enough proof to show people how that works. So Yes, Captain's VR's mission is to develop effective VR tools to help people with self-development and coaching tools. And Captain VR offers proven stress reduction processes, and want to achieve that stress in the workplace increases productivity and prevents burnout. And it's really important because the people who are mainly affected by burnout are women, for example. Women have twice as much of a chance on burnout than men. Younger employees also have more chance to have a burnout than other people, and also people, of course, who perform under high pressure and who have to deal with targets and who must always be available are more likely to get burned out. So once someone had a burnout, the chance that they will get burned out again is very likely in 1 or 2 years. So it's really extremely important to prevent burnout. It's really extremely important. And we hope to help organizations with that. And that's why I'm talking today about this subject. And I'm really proud to be part of the Educators in VR. I'm one of the team leaders of the VR coaching and personal development track. And the mission is to build a network of people around the world who are interested in coaching and personal development. And by providing them an interactive space where they can share knowledge, connect, support, inspire each other, and join forces to create a better real world for everyone. And we will organize this every month and invite speakers to talk about all sorts of VR coaching and personal development. So if you want to speak on next events or want to visit next event, we're going to do this every month. So we would like you to be there next time. And today I will have another talk with Dr. Josh Cohen at 11 a.m. Pacific time and 9 p.m. Amsterdam time. We're going to talk about empowering people, and we would love you to be here as well, or there. So thank you for listening.
And
if you have any
questions? Let's get some questions. All right. So if you have a question for Dana Maria, we'd love to hear it. All right. We have Marcel. You're on.
Hi there, can you hear me, guys?
Hey,
Yes.
Marcel, yes.
Hi there, long time ago. Good presentation, first of all, because I hear you also from the Netherlands. And that video is very familiar for me, because we're working with that. I myself work with ABN AMRO. We are I'm working there. We also do something on stress, like we have yellow workplaces, yellow, perhaps you know that concept. And also, yeah, that's right. So, but we have in our, especially at our head office, we have so much FTE on the small workplace. So I think your approach should also be applicable on our workspace. So my advice is go talk with HR from ABN AMRO. I'm definitely very positive about this approach, because I think with that few will come, I think it will be a much, especially for the sick leave, what you said. I for myself talk about sick leave because there's so much noise on the floor that I can't concentrate myself. So I'm lots of working at home to escape the room with us. We have about 7 FTE for one workplace. So you know, that kind of that is very stressful. And I think that's your thing, your presentation. I think that will help reducing stress and also sick leave on our location. So go talk with HR and go in talk with them from our bank.
Yes, I will, for sure. Can I have your details later? Talk a little bit about it after.
Yeah, Marcel's a good friend, so we'll definitely connect you guys. All right,
thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marcel. Wonderful. All right. Carlos, let's turn on Carlos. It's your turn.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi.
Hi.
Dana, my curiosity was where do you meet? Do you meet in virtual space to have these meetings?
Which meetings? Oh yes, in Altspace, for example, it's from the Educators in VR platform. Like this it is the same thing.
Yeah, so she'll be meeting under the umbrella of Educators in VR once a month and presenting workshops and sessions and special guest speakers and stuff. It's going to be amazing. So we have a variety. Just to let you know, a little bit of pitch. Educators in VR meets every Tuesday here in Altspace and with a regular workshop. And then we have additional days of the week, usually on Thursday, we have one of our tracks. We have V language learning, we have diversity and accessibility. We have the beautiful Dana Maria, who's heading up our V coaching and personal development, and a variety of other topics, so that we can not only connect educators and researchers and students with the tools they need to integrate these technologies into their classroom, but we get a chance to showcase how we integrate these into our lives. And that's what Dana Maria is doing as well. So it's the technical part as well as the life-changing part. I love that. Okay, that's our new motto, Dana Maria. That's what we're doing. Okay. All right, so let's see who's... All right, so Carlos,
Thank you.
Did you have another question?
Thank you.
No, thank you, and I hope you get rid of that cough that seems to be bugging you.
Yeah, sorry. So
It's okay.
It's also annoying you right now. Not you, but all the people.
No, it's just being human.
Exactly. Yeah. And Dana Maria, how lovely that you can be sick and be here and not give it to us. So
exactly. Yes.
All right, Jorge. Hello. You're up.
Hello. Hi there, Maria.
Hey.
I was wondering, I read some news about 3 weeks ago about a similar VR enhancer for smells that relied on vapor. And I believe it was because of the regulations on vaping that are being put in here in the United States. That company was not able to actually fulfill
was that Feel Real? Do you think it was Feel Real, or is that another company?
I can remember. Yeah, I believe so. So I'm wondering if something like that is going to affect your odors as well. I don't know if it relies on vaping technology or...
I'm not sure. What I did is a prototype, so it's not for the consumer yet ready. There's some things I have to look into to make this consumer ready. It's really not easy. But what I did is what we use in this smell device are aromatherapy smells, are not artificial smells like you put in your toilet to smell let the toilet smell nice. This is totally different kind of smells. So I think they use and these are really harmful for people. These smells they use in the toilet and they use in the incense in the sorry.
Yes, you are not smelling toilet water. All right, so I just want clarity. You're talking about essential oils as compared to chemically produced oils.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. I just needed the clarity for toilet water.
Good.
So that
No, I don't mean toilet water. I mean they use this. Okay, good.
We got it. Yeah,
we get. As long as you understand what I mean.
Toilet water in Europe is often is like a perfumey thing. No, we're talking about not the stuff, the bleachy crap stuff that we put in to make blue dye toilet water and everything. No, we're talking about essential oils. Very different from vaping. Vaping is chemically, are not natural oils so much as they are chemically produced oils.
Yeah.
So very different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Dana Maria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, welcome.
Toilet water smell. Sorry, little language clarification there. I want to make sure. All right, Valerie. Oh, you're up, Valerie. Hey, Val.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Thank you so much, Dana Maria. I was wondering whether you have any recommendations for any other apps that might be out there for meditation and relaxation. Yes. I know yours is a prototype, and obviously we can't obtain it right now, but do you have anything else that you could recommend?
Yes, there are some apps, free apps on Oculus. So I love virtual reality meditation because it's so easy for people who don't have any experience meditation. You just put your headset on and you are in meditation. It's like immediate meditation. You don't have to think, do I do it right? Or what I have to think about? Or how I do think nothing? No, you just can put your headset on and there's something happening and just give yourself to it. Like, how is it called? I forgot his name right now, but he's working together closely with Oprah Winfrey. He's also having a meditation tool in Oculus Go, Deepak Chopra. So I would suggest one of his. There's also some islands you can visit and a chakra meditation. I saw all free meditation you can use. And I will give a lot of noise when I make it for the consumer ready. When the VR Mood Booster is ready for the consumer. So, but that will take another year, I think.
Yeah, and I'd also like to recommend Evolve VR does meditation sessions right here in Altspace.
Every
day. They're in
with
English
Daniel
and
also.
German and I think Spanish. I can't remember the other languages. Daniel's doing the German one, and they are groundbreaking. And he streams some of them with Facebook Live. He also goes to some of the most innovative virtual worlds for meditation, and he's been doing it for almost 3 years here in Altspace. So do know that it's available. And my mom at 80, loves them. Whenever I come up, because she has Mac computers, I come up, she wants to do the meditation, and I just cracks me up. I love it. So because I want to do that thing where we sit still and don't do anything for a good 20 minutes. And okay, there you go. It's a meditation. So there are many opportunities to do things. Mixing the smells and the wonderful things that you're doing, nobody's doing that yet. So we're excited about that coming. I just love it. Thank you. Great question, Val.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we have Tony Cubed.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. So since we're on the topic of the regular meetups and other sessions that are coming up, this question's for either of you, so Laurel included. Those Tuesday meetups, is there like a regular time that that people tend to meet? Putting in my
tend to? No, it's a clock. You show up or you miss out. So it's at usually it's at 1:30 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. That's it.
And then, but the additional ones are usually about the same time. That's a sweet spot. About 1 to 1:30, 2 o'clock Pacific is a sweet spot in the time zones. I'm going to take off. You've got a lot of echo going on, Tony. But that's a really sweet spot for most, not all, but for most time zones. And so it's tough for people in North America unless you're on the East Coast. But it really is an effective time. So that we're trying to reach as many time zones as possible. So it's usually 1 or 1:30 for our other events, and it's at 1:30 for our weekly events. All right, Lana, all yours.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi. Yes.
Dana, this is more of a statement. I'm available to be a test subject for your aromatherapy if you'd like. I'd be more than happy to.
Okay, nice. Nice to know.
I love it.
Just a quick statement.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
I love it. So I'm also. So I have some. While we're waiting for any more questions, we have another event that's coming up in a few minutes. We need to get ready for it. But while we're waiting for more questions, I'd like to ask you, what we have an example of what works, and skiing was an amazing example of what works, because that just was that was such something that I hadn't thought about. Is there anything that doesn't work for dealing with anxieties and phobia and things in VR? Is there something that really doesn't work yet?
No, I don't know. I don't think. I feel like virtual reality is like there is no end. Everything is possible in virtual reality. I feel you just need to be really careful to make the stress not bigger. So how you coach someone, how the app is built is really important. You cannot give people stress without a therapist or coach there, and then they are sitting there with this stress and don't know how to reduce it or regulate the stress. So this is really important, that if you build apps for consumers to self-use, this needs to be really carefully built with a big disclaimer. And also, if you help people, you need to really know what you're doing. And this is what is important, to not make the problem worse. But I think everything is possible with virtual reality. Endless possibilities. And I am so passionate about virtual reality coaching and helping people to become the captains of their lives. Yeah, that's it.
Wonderful. All right, everybody, give it up for the beautiful and amazing Dana Maria, who's changing our lives and the world at the same time. Look at that. Taking the love, my friend. Taking the love.
And can we do a selfie?
Thing. All right, let me.
Oh, that's another question.
Yep. Do you want to up everybody up on? Oh, do you? Okay. All right. So, well, no, let's do the selfie. We're running out of time. No, Steph doesn't have a question. We're running out of time. Do you want everybody up on the stage?
Yeah. Please, everybody on stage.
I've removed the stage blocker. Let me switch to your. Sorry about the flashing slides.
No problem.
Oops. There we go. All right, everybody up on the stage. Let me get my camera ready. No, turn everybody around. Everybody turn around and face the audience.
Okay.
Face the audience, and let me get my camera set up.
Can you, Carlos, come join us, please. I want.
Come on, everybody in the audience, come join us.
Oh, is he out?
Yay.
He's not there.
Maybe off. All right. I want some. Okay, hang on. Let me move back. I want some hearts. Give me some hearts. Lots of hearts. Pound those hearts. Pound those hearts. We're gonna take several of these. Yay! I love it. Keep those hearts coming. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Keep them coming. Yeah! All right, we got it. That's gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here and for the questions. Very interesting.
Yay!
Very interesting questions
everybody.
for me. Bye.
Thank you. And we have coming up next.
Rebekah.
Dana, you were amazing. All right, we have Rebekah Diaz, who is the chief strategist of Dance Virtual, and she's going to be talking about how they teach dance class in VR. This is amazing, and the work that they're doing with full motion body tracking VR is groundbreaking. They're revolutionizing all of this as they teach people one-on-one how to dance hand in hand with people. So make sure you stick around for that in just a few minutes. All right, go get those selfies in. Thank you. Oops. There. Thank you. Hey, Kostas. Hi. I need you to move over because I'm trying to edit the screen. There, thank you. I can't reach it. There, thank you. All right, there. Okay, there. Okay, sir. All right. There, Rebekah. Oops, hold on. Okay, I'm getting echo from somebody. It was in 2D or something. Marcel, you should know better than that. All right. Okay, Rebekah, why don't you? Okay, and then Jorge's with you, right? Rebekah? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
But I thought Rebekah was on her own here.
We're having complications with permissions. Yeah. Dana Maria, you were supposed to be running this, and is that still on or?
No, if you can do it, it's no problem. Then I can prepare for the next presentation and also for Esther. Whatever you like.
If you could run it, that would be awesome.
Okay, then I do it. Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, you have the slides? I put them up.
Okay, good. But
They're just waiting for the presenter, and you have those because I can message you them. Let me do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're on our Educators in VR account. Thank you, Rebecca. All right, let me turn off megaphone. There, okay.
I have just the one slide for today. The presentation Jorge and I gave you.
Yeah,
was much
exactly.
All right.
I get it.
Yes.
She's got it? Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. Rock it out.
Yeah, I mean, I got it, but almost.
Okay.
I'm stuck here somehow. I cannot move.
Dana,
Hit
you are
the escape
a rock
key.
star.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
hit the escape key and then you can move. All right.
Thank you,
Okay,
Donna.
you all set? You're all set? All right, thank you. And Donna, you're going to be here for this as backup?
Yeah.
Or are you just checking in?
I was just checking in.
Okay, that's fine. Just check. Just see. All right. Dana Marie, you got
Yeah,
this.
I'll be here.
You are a veteran.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna present you guys. Oh, I expected Rebecca to be alone somehow today.
I was
Did
just
I
gonna.
understand this?
No. I have Jorge here for moral support.
That's amazing. So you are gonna be the only speaker today?
Yes, he'll stay muted.
And
But
but
I
he
would
will
like to
dance.
have him on stage with me.
Yeah, he will dance with you, of course. That would be
Yes.
so nice to show some dance moves. So
Yes.
everybody, we have another 8 minutes to go, so there's no rush to start. So we can just interact a little bit with the audience. Hello, everybody. So nice that you're all here. And I hope you really like this event. We have so much fun together with the presenters and also with each other and with the newcomers and the people who are in VR participating into all these events. So thank you for being here. Are there any people here for the first time? Please, if there's people for the first time, please do something with your emoticons, like a heart, give a heart. If you're not, if you don't do anything, I suggest probably or think that you're all very experienced. So that is also nice. Big laugh. Okay. And so how is Rebecca doing today? Are you feeling excited to present in like 7 minutes?
I am so excited. Jorge and I just before your wonderful speech, we were in our space and we were practicing our virtual dancing with these avatars because these avatars we're not used to wearing. So that was really cool. So
yes.
everything went fantastic. So of course during the speech it won't be as smooth because it seems like I may have already gotten like my golden moment in rehearsal, but I plan on doing great. Jorge doing great.
Okay, great. I just had a question from Donna. I did not really understand the question, Donna. Can you repeat?
Sorry to interrupt. It's just that it's 6 minutes to the top of the hour, and the schedule shows that you're going to start at the top of the hour. So I was just going to make sure, like, people that are coming to the event will want to see the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. No, good. Then I understand you well, because I thought maybe you would want it to start earlier, because that was a miscommunication. So I just asked. So thank you. No, we will not start yet. We just stay here, talk a little bit with the public audience.
I love that day. Okay, so I'm gonna butt out and
I don't hear you anymore, Donna. Is it me or is it everybody?
I heard her.
Can you? Yeah. Oh. Can you talk again, please? To just check, maybe I have to re-enter the space.
You're good, Dana Marie.
Yeah, I'm good. Oh, good.
you are
Oh, yeah. Oh, amazing. Thank you. Who was that? Carla?
Yeah.
Carlos? Yeah, thank
So
you. But you want to say something?
When you were younger.
Yes. I worked for 10 years on big traditional sailing vessels worldwide.
Nice.
And as a crew member. and I did that later in life also as a captain, and it was amazing. It really is so interesting to have a life on board with like 30 people stuck on a ship, and then you really yeah. It is fun on the one hand, but also very intense, and you learn a lot about behavior in that way. Yes, also, you see the true face very quickly of people who are living together very closely on a little island. So it's really nice for the things I learned during my, for my work now as a coach.
You don't miss it?
No, I did it for 10 years, and then
that was nice.
It was like, but I live near the harbor, so the harbor is really close, like 1 minute away from my house, so I can see the ships every day, and that's what I really love. I like the life style of the ships. It's like you're not busy with news. You're not busy with what happens in the world. You're only busy what is today for dinner, what is the wind, direction of the wind, where we want to go, and just you adjust the sails to your direction. And it's really interesting to live like that for 10 years. It's really no rat race at all, So.
What was the name of your favorite boat that you were on?
The Oosterschelde. That's the flagship of. Yes, that's the flagship of Rotterdam, and it's a 3-mast schooner that sails worldwide.
Wow,
yeah, it's really beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have a public pictures of your trips and stuff like Instagram or Flickr?
Yeah, Facebook. On Facebook, you can help. Please. Yes, please. You can just we can connect on Facebook, and you can see the pictures there.
Yeah, wonderful.
So did you have any sailing experience that you find it so
I have
amazing?
A friend that's absolutely nuts about sailing. He's trying to get he had a boat, and his last trip was from Spain, Tenerife, to let me see, where was it? Puerto Rico. And
nice.
Much smaller boat than yours. But he lives in Barcelona, and he's one of my best friends, and he's always talking about his sailing and shows us pictures of the sunsets and just beautiful. But it also, he talks about when you sail with the wrong group of people.
Yes.
And when the chemistry is not right, and you're stuck out there in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of people that you'd like to throw into the sea so that the sharks could eat them.
Yeah, I know these feelings. Sometimes I had them as well, but it's also good. It is a really interesting, also for yourself, because you trigger and react on situations that are not in your influence, and this is also interesting for your own self-development. So, and this is also what Rebekah is going to talk about, not about sailing, but self-development and things that trigger in self-development with her dancing. And that is also really interesting. I had that actually, Rebekah and Jorge, when I did dance lessons. I had dance lessons myself one time, and I thought they should make coaching out of this, because you can really coach people into, how to deal with, how you say it, with coming near someone, to intimacy, following or leading. That's also very interesting, how you follow.
Yes.
That was for me a very big eye-opener. I found it hard to follow.
Yeah, and it's funny you mention that, because a lot of my students, the ladies, would have very strong personalities, and it was difficult for them to kind of let go and let someone else. What you were saying before reminded me that, like, I was with mostly couples, because partner dancing is what I focused on, and I almost felt like sometimes I was a therapist for these two people, because they were learning how to give and take, and not just give or not just take.
Yes, really. I can imagine that would be an amazing coaching tool. Dancing is an amazing coaching tool. Who is that? Somebody is asking. Yeah, who is that? Oh, he's just doing something. So I can. Yeah, it's 6:00. I'm going to start by introducing you right now, Rebekah. So everybody, welcome to be here. I'm so happy that you all could come. Rebekah Diaz, I'm going to tell you about Rebekah Diaz and Jorge. We had them before, and they're going to show some really beautiful dance moves today. And Rebekah is going to tell us all about how it started. And Rebekah fell in love with ballroom dancing as a teenager. It was not until she was tutoring college students in math that she realized how enjoyable and challenging teaching was. Never one back out of fight. How I say? Never back one out of the fight. Becca combined the two passions in her life and found her true calling as a dance instructor. And here she is to tell you all about it. Give a big hand to Rebekah Diaz. Thank you.
Thank you. That was such an amazing welcome. That's fantastic. Hello, everybody. How's it going? I hope your day is going as great as mine. I think it's interesting how you said it was 6 p.m. and I think it's just 11 o'clock in the morning where I am. It just proves like what a valuable tool this alt space is, and VR in general. Jorge and I, we took dance lessons and we put it in virtual reality. And today we're gonna show you a little bit of proof of concept of how that works with these avatars. Your participation is encouraged if you want to dance along with us. Just by show of emojis, who here is in a headset? Nobody? We're all in a headset. So these will be definitely easier to do if you're in the headset, but hopefully if you're in 2D, you know, feel free to dance along in your living room or office or wherever you may be. Bedroom, bathroom, I'm just joking.
Oh, you put yourself on megaphone?
Yes, I am on megaphone. Can everybody hear me fine? Yes, I got some thumbs up. Cool, yes, awesome. So I just wanted to really quick start off with, we are a little bit limited in these avatars. The avatars that Jorge and I are used to, we put neurons on almost every single joint of our body. So, you know, a funny thing in dance is people say hips don't lie. Well, in alt space avatars, your hips definitely can lie. If you're in a headset and you want to dance along with us, go for it. Just make what type of floor you're on, what type of shoes you're wearing, the friction there in the event you want to do some turns. So let's see here. Very nice. I just want everybody, if you'd like, a very important thing in dance, we just want to make sure the body is awake, right? Not that I'm awake, but that my physical body is awake. So if you want to join me and just reach for the stars right now, take that deep breath in and bring your hands down. Very nice. I'm going to go ahead because I have the space to reach for the floor. Notice my avatar just kind of sinks into the floor. That's okay. Very nice. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to bring my arms up, take that deep breath in, and I'm going to come back down. Very nice. So I want everybody to put their hands out, especially if you're in the 3D space, and I want you to just do one forward turn to your left or your right, and this is just to make sure that you have an appropriate space around you, that you're not going to hit anybody. Or anything. I say anybody because Jorge and I are in the same physical space, so we just touched arms as we did that exercise. Very cool. So my background is in ballroom dancing, partner dancing. That's what I focused on the most. But on that journey, I got a lot more experience with a bunch of different types, and I wanted to take you guys on that journey with me today. So the first place we're going to go is Africa. I wanted it to be a chronological journey, but that's hard to do since there's not extremely well accepted written history of a lot of the dances. You'll see a lot of different people have a lot of different opinions on where stuff came from. So the first place we're going to go to is to Africa. And I have some music here, and so I'm going in and out of my headset to do the music. So if you'll bear with me there. People in Africa, this was before it was purely a social thing, dance. People in Africa, they use dance to express like their religion, their emotional communication, their rites of passage, and so much more. So what I want to do, if you would like to dance along with me, that's great. We're going to do a dance representing the harvest. So really quick, before I put on my music, I'll show you our moves. What we're going to do is we're going to have the rain come down. Rain's going to come down, right? And then it's going to get absorbed by the land. Then we are going to spread our seeds. I have my legs very wide. You can't see, but this is so I can get my thing. We're going to spread our seeds, and then we're going to harvest our fruit. Harvest from either side. Very nice. So that's the first place we're going. We'll just keep it to those simple moves. My music, you'll find, may not be the most interesting, but that's because I wanted to make sure that I didn't run into any issues with any copyright laws for being here with the educators in VR. So give me just one moment and I will start the music. I'm also happy to receive feedback for the volume of music. So let me just make sure this is working. Let's see. Can you hear the music? Do we want it louder? Yes, louder. Okay. Here we go. Oops, don't fall down. We're the rain. The rain. The rain gets absorbed. Spread your seeds. Harvest. Oop. Icky. Harvest. Very nice. There's a. Very nice. Looking here. Very nice. The rain's gonna come again. Here comes the rain. Let's put some wind in the rain. It absorbs. Whoops, I hit something in my real life. Spread your seeds. And harvest. From either side. Very nice. So I'm going to go ahead and make a pause with my music. Very nice. Great job, you guys. I'm going to give y'all some love. Let's see here, my emojis. That was fantastic. So in different parts of Africa, oops, am I muted? No, y'all are muted. Sorry, I was looking at my host tools here. I guess I pressed a couple buttons while I was dancing with my controllers. So in different parts of Africa, there are so many different types of dance. That was just a generic drum that I found online that I could use without copyright infringement. I just want to, in case this video ever, or this recording of this talk ever gives out, I want to give a quick shout out to Waneka. She is my friend from Nigeria who taught me a lot about African dance. So Waneka, if you ever see this, I love you. All right, so our next journey is going to be to India in the Mideast area. We're going to talk a little bit about belly dancing. Anybody here know a lot about belly dancing? Nobody, that's okay. Oh, very nice. So a huge misconception about belly dancing is that it's for men's entertainment. When a matter of fact, no, it's not really. Actually, the it is very entertaining to men, don't get me wrong, because these women, they're just dressed so beautifully. Is this a question? Or, okay. Because the women, you know, they're dressed so beautifully with their, with their outfits. Name is escaping me. But that's okay. And also, like, this belly dance is a partner dance. It's a partner dance between the person performing and this dance also being done mostly barefoot. It's also done with Mother Earth, is how they do it. So we're gonna, because we don't have our feet, and again, you can't see our hips move here, we're gonna just do some simple movements with our arms, which will be, can anybody kind of try to wave their arms a little bit? Very nice. And then we can bring them together. We'll bring them up, bring them out. We can go to the side, bring them to keeping them staying together. Another thing that makes the belly dancers look really nice is that they'll traditionally, not in every case, don't get me wrong, they'll watch their hands. So everywhere I go, my hands, my eyes follow my hands. I'll do it to this side so you can see. So, join me please now as we do a little bit of that. Let me get my music up. Here we go. Have your hands in front of you. Very nice. We can go up. Down. Let's come to the side. Just do a little rotation with your whole body. Just be careful for real life obstacles. Let's bring our hands apart. Up. Let's try to make our movements a little faster. Very nice. I don't know about you guys, but having my arms up with the controllers does feel a little bit like a workout. Very nice. Thank you. Y'all are doing fantastic. I really appreciate the participation that I'm seeing out there. Very cool. So hopefully you learned a little bit about belly dance. Eliza is the person that I learned belly dance from. She is fantastic. She works at a studio that I used to run. I love you, Eliza, if you see this. And she's the one who taught me about belly dancing being a partner dance in the sense that you are dancing with Mother Earth. So excuse me now as I go to my next. Yes. So when we listen to the African, hello wire. As we listen to the African drums, it was very, very simple, very basic with your drums. As we just listened to the last belly dance, you heard a lot more instruments going on. And dance was very much influenced as even the instrument and music came up. So our next is when our piano was now invented. And we're going to just talk a little bit about ballet. So I don't know if there's any ballerinas in here, but very much respect to anybody who has chosen ballet as their career, because that's where it really gets into that dance is one of the most physically demanding jobs. Like, you could be a construction worker, you could be a mover, but dance is amongst the highest there. Very nice. So again, ballet, we can, you won't be able to tell as much, but if we rise in the releve on our toes, our avatars just kind of float a little bit, and then we can come back down, and we can rise. And whereas belly dancing had its own ritual, and how African dance did also, ballet was really to tell a story, right? Performed on stages, much like these that were not virtual. they would tell stories, and they're sometimes political stories, actually. It's pretty interesting if you want to read a lot about that history. But let's do a little bit of ballet. Oh, and from ballet, you know, it was really to illuminate like the human emotioning endeavor. Oops, I left my control pointing at an icon. It was really to illuminate the human emotion, and ballet has since evolved into like the jazz dancing, the modern, contemporary, and so on. So let's do just a little bit of ballet. So here we are. Turn up my music since this one's a little soft. Very nice. So tall, rise into releve here. We'll put this arm down. Bring it up the middle. And now from the other side. And up. I want us to rise into releve as we bring our arms down. And we can lower as we bring our hands back up. If you feel confident with your space, I want you to give me a little turn while you're up here. We go the other way. Very nice. And we'll repeat. Rise into releve as his hands come down. And back up. And we'll repeat. And repeat this one again. One more time. And from the beginning. Oops. And we rise. And I'm going to go all the way down, like we did on our stretch. Very nice. Thank you. So give me just one moment while I come in. Pause the music. Very nice. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. That was fantastic. And maybe some of you guys felt like, oops. No, I don't want to leave the room. Okay. So, and maybe some of you guys felt a little more relaxed after that. I know I did. So let's see here now. I am going to our next dance, which may sound similar because they had, my hand. Because they had a lot of the same instruments. Then, like after ballet, they decided to make the dance a little more sociable by using a partner. Lovely Jorge Ortiz over here was voluntold to be my partner today by me. Just kidding. He was willing. So Jorge, do you want to come with me to the middle of the stage here? Cool. So now we get into what I really studied a lot about, and that was the ballroom dances. And so we're going to talk a little, I say we, he's on mute. I don't see you. Oh, you're on my other side. Sorry about that. I'm going to talk a little bit about waltz, and I'm going to use him as an example. So here we are. Waltz was considered the mother of all ballroom dances, mostly just because it's the oldest. In some cases, people feel it's the easiest. However, you can get a lot of details that make it much more difficult. So there was a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Oh, goodness. Like social rules. What's the word I'm looking for, Jorge? Courtesy. Yeah, there was a lot of social rules, since I can't think of the word. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of social rules back when everybody wore their dresses that was, super floofy, because that was the style. Or, they also had the corsets, which kept them really tight up here in their rib cage area. And of course, dental hygiene wasn't what it was back then, so everybody wanted to keep their face super far from the other. So, okay, if I can just have you come a little bit forward, maybe like to right there is perfect. So there was, etiquette. Oh my goodness, that was the word I was trying to think. There was a very strict etiquette. So the first thing was when people approached one another, Jorge would, in today's terms, maybe he'd be like, "Sup? What's going on, yo?" No, I'm kidding. He just might, say something very relaxed. But back then it was much different. So Jorge, instead of just like, "Sup, hey, how's it going?" the way he would address me as the follow is he would bow. Yes, thank you. I would reciprocate by saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing fine," with my courtesy. Next, Jorge would ask me to dance. And he would ask me to dance by holding out his hand. And I would say, instead of just being like, "Yeah, okay, sounds cool," I would say yes by placing my hand in his. And from here, we have made a connection, a partnership. In VR, you can imagine there's something much different here that I'm feeling. But part of dancing, leading, and following, some of it does have to do with what you're seeing, which is what I'm relying on a lot right now. So, Jorge, would you like to continue? You can lead me now. And we bring our hands up, and we would start to dance. We're going to walk in a half circle and just surround each other, kind of like a maypole. You've ever seen one? And now we're going to switch sides, switch hands, and go the other way. Very nice. So, in the event, since y'all are doing a fantastic job participating, if any of the audience members would like to bow just as we learn and ask somebody else to dance, please do so now while I put on some music. You'll notice that it sounds a lot like the ballet music. Oh, and of course, we live in 2020 now, so ladies, do feel free to ask gentlemen to dance, whether you're in the real world or not. So, here we are. So, we can start again. Switch. Very nice. Jorge, I'm going to pause us, or I'm going to pause the music, rather. Oh. Sorry, in my studio, it's much easier for me to do the music than VR. I'm learning just probably like a lot of you guys. So if anybody noticed, I was kind of doing some funny things with my hand over here, and I was imagining holding my skirt, and swaying it through, just because I'm fun like that. So waltz is very much characterized by this sort of boom, tick, tick. Oops, my hand. Sorry. Waltz is very much characterized by this like boom, tick, tick, boom, tick, tick, boom, tick, tick, which is much easier to hear in my next song that I selected. Jorge and I are going to do the same routine, and again, I invite y'all to invite another audience member to dance. I'm not sure how well it will work with the bleachers. However, there is some space up here. So here is our next song. We'll do it just one more time. To a different rhythm. This would be a more Viennese waltz. It'll be much faster. Hopefully you can hear clearly the boom tick tick, boom tick tick. Boom tick tick. I wasn't ready. Do it again. I'm running into something in real life. Very nice. When the dance is over, Jorge says thank you. I say thank you. I'm going to pause the music just to make sure you can hear me clearly. Oops. When the song is over, Jorge doesn't just leave me on the floor to go find his next person. When we're finished and our song is over, he brings his hand back down. Your other hand? He brings his hand back down. We may say, some sort of thank you. He says, you're welcome. And then he's either going to bring me where he found me, or we can walk over here, where he found me, or to the next person that I'm going to dance with. And that was the etiquette. That was the courtesy. So moving on from waltz to another ballroom dance that I just love. Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. Now we're actually going to the other side of the world, to the Latin Americas. I love the Latin dances. This is one of my favorites. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the samba. If y'all ever heard of the Rio de Janeiro samba, you know that it's all colors. You know that it's all entertainment. You know that it's just big, loud music, movements, exciting things. Yes, I love the thumbs up. Oops, my hands are backwards. And in ballroom samba, getting too excited here, pressing lots of buttons on my controller. Here we go. In the ballroom samba, I did it again. Excuse me, guys. In the ballroom samba, it's character, or in samba music in general, it's characterized by this sort of heartbeat rhythm that we're gonna hear. Again, I had a limited selection of music to present to you guys for copyright reasons, but let's see if you guys can identify the samba for me, or the heartbeat I was talking about. Boom, da-da. You kind of feel the bounce, right? Y'all want to bounce with me? This is a lot for entertainment. It's for show. It's for fun. To do the wave. Yes, I'm a bird. I've got wings. you're doing this at home with us. All right, let's speed up the movements. When we speed up the movements, we call it syncopation. Yeah. Very nice. Using some of my moves from earlier. Just making sure I keep that bounce. Well, this is good to bounce with the headset on. Very cool. All right. And we're fading out. Ta-da! Oh, that was fantastic. I love what I saw in the audience. I'm going to look for my emojis here. Where did they go? Aha, here we are. Yay! That was so fantastic, you guys. I'm super impressed. I was actually a little nervous that everybody was going to be on the other side of the dancing and VR pioneering and be a little nervous to participate. I know when Jorge and I first started, that was one of the reasons that we didn't want to dance, and it was because we were nervous. We were nervous of being judged. We were nervous of making mistakes. Whew. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath now. These controllers in my hands and the headset on. Let's see. So I love the samba. That's my meditation. That's what makes me happy. Hearing that music, that's what makes me feel more relaxed than the ballet, which may be strange. I'm really proud of you guys who are participating. So let's see here. We're gonna go to one more Latin country. That was Brazil, by the way. We're going to go to Argentina, and we're going to talk a little bit about the tango. The tango is famous for the snappy movements. The tango is well known for its snappy movements, and it's well known for the rose in the mouth. But the funny thing is tango actually started, the reason they started doing it was because they just wanted to stay in shape. Finally, we get to the point where people are dancing to stay in shape. All these years, it's just been like a benefit that they're like, oh, hey, that's cool. And now the Argentinians, they're finally doing it to be like, hey, we realize this keeps me sexy, you know? This keeps all my curves in the right place. So, unfortunately for tango, then it had a little bit of a pushback because people then, as dancing close with one does, they started to get intimate. And then tango, even though it's famous for it now, was infamous for it at the time, was started to be known for its intimacy, and people just weren't ready for that yet. But the tango is the Argentine tango. Jorge, can you come to me, please? The tango was, the etiquette in tango is much different, especially in a milonga, if anybody has ever been. If you haven't, I highly recommend. So the etiquette is different. Jorge would verbally ask me, would you like this dance? Probably hold out his hand, carried over from that waltz world. And if I don't want to dance with him, I have to look away and simply just shake my hand. And he goes, and hopefully Jorge has the self-esteem or the courage to literally ask the person sitting right next to me. I love it when I see that happen. That's awesome. Or if I accept and say yes, I get up and I go with Jorge. There's a couple different reasons that people say no to dancing besides the fact, ooh, it's personal. I just don't want to dance with you. And some of that could be, oh, they're really tired. They just did, 15 songs in a row. Perhaps they need to take a break, use the restroom, get some water. There's a lot going on there, so you never can take it personally. But if you'll get right up next to me, because I'm in a good space in the real world. Yeah, that's nice. So tango is danced very, very, very close. And again, if you would like to participate, that's fine. If you want to ask somebody to dance, you'll have to use the waltz way because the the bowing and the holding out the hands because y'all are muted. Jorge is muted. And we get almost shoulder to shoulder, but a little offset. Come a little closer if you can, Jorge. Very nice. And we take our hands and we put it on the other person's shoulder. And then on the other side, we'll just hold hands. Very nice. I wonder if y'all can see well. And then we move in unison. So what happens is, Jorge, I want you to take just a small step forward with me. Good. And then a little bit to the side. Good. And a little bit backward. Very cool. And our avatars are now dancing. So this is cool because like me, even as an avatar, I'm looking at Jorge's little square cheeks, right? And I see his eyes. And when I first started dancing, even this picture right here, not even a real somebody, I can't do quotation marks, even a real somebody would have made me very nervous. So part of another benefit of dancing in virtual reality is if his breath is bad, I don't have to smell it, right? And that these eyes here, it's okay. Like I can always look away. I can, be maybe just beyond looking over here at his shoulder. I can look just over the top of his head, and now I don't have to worry about him accidentally slipping his hand too low or too high because I'm safe here. It's a very safe place to dance. I'm not trying to say that the real world is not safe. I'm just saying like here, if somebody makes you feel uncomfortable, you just, unplug. And you're done, right? So Jorge and I would like to put the tango. Oh, yeah, another cool thing about tango is that it's not a rhythm-specific dance. Meaning, like when we count in dance, you probably stereotypically hear 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you do your dance. Tango's not like that. It stops and starts whenever the leader, in this case Jorge, when he feels. So please feel to watch our little demonstration, or, as I said, if you are brave enough to ask a virtual person, you can, if somebody says no here, remember they may be in 2D, so don't fret. It's a lot of visual leads. As I'm loading my music here, give me just a moment. Here we are. Thank you. Come to me. And here we go. We'll go forward, side, small step back, side. Sometimes tango dancers will even touch heads. You think we can touch heads? And continue. We're going to rotate just a little bit. Continue rotating. Very nice. We'll finish our rotation and we'll pause the music. Thank you. Thank you. Hello? Would you like to dance? No? Okay. That's cool. I welcome it. So here we are in real world now. Okay, perfect. So whenever you're in a milonga, traditionally you'll dance 3 songs with somebody. If for any reason that person makes you uncomfortable before those 3 songs are over, you just tell them thank you, and everybody understands the dance is over. Let's see here. Checking my time now. Cool. So, unfortunately, yeah, the tango had the political pushback, but I think people are over it now, and now it's such a great dance. We host it in our studio. We host milongas all the time. Tango, Argentine tango especially, is known for its tiny little steps, and that's because they were dancing it in these cafes with small bands, because that's what they could afford, and they would just dance wherever they could around these circle little tables. So you can, then the technique of tango developed so that people danced it kind of with contra steps, which means like my knee and my oh, this is really hard to say without being able to show it. My knee of my right leg is in the joint of my knee of the other leg. So these contra steps that kind of gave us these natural circles as we sort of dance one way or the other. So our final, we have two more. So our second to last dance is swing. I like the swing also. Not as much as samba, but I do enjoy swing. So swing is actually not that old relatively to these other dances. And it was purely a social thing. This is where we get a lot of crazy arm actions, lots of turns, lots of twists, lots of everything. Let's see, Jorge, if you can come to me, please. Awesome. So like, for example, Jorge, give me a turn, any turn. Oh, okay. Do. Cool. Very nice. And then we can go back or whatever you want to do. Cool. I'll just turn under here. Swing. Oops, sorry. Thank you. Swing is made of a lot of these movements. In virtual reality, Jorge, if I can be the leader and hold your hands. Swing is made up of a lot of these movements. So if I raise this hand, he stays with me, bring it down, raise this hand, I know this isn't easy, right? As things start getting, this is a good lead and follow practice right here. Things start getting crazy because soon, Jorge, if he turns under our raised hand here, things start getting tangled up. Now Jorge's kind of tangled within himself, and I'll bring you back out, Jorge. But the wonderful thing about these avatars in alt space that I realized is that our wrist movements in partner dancing is extremely important, and this is very well illustrated with the things that we have. For example, if I wanted Jorge to turn this is my left, right? If I wanted Jorge to turn to the left, I would point the tips of my finger to the left in the real world, and I can do it in alt space. If I want him to turn the other way, whoop, I switch my hand, and he naturally will follow that way, or he'll start to feel like he's, hurting one of his joints or the other. So I want to play some swing music for you guys. I won't play for it long because I'm looking at the time. And I want Jorge and of course, as I said before, I encourage you to do a little swing. You can't see my feet, but dancing the Charleston also is a big part of that swing era, which is now, it's all social. For very, very social reasons, people are dancing. Let's see. Here we go. Also got that pulse, not quite like samba. Thank you. So that was our swing. Good job, Jorge. I appreciated that. Bam. All right. So, and as the instruments got more complicated, so did our dance music, and we were able to be much more creative with what we were doing. And that leads me to my final genre that I wanted to talk about today. Of course, like hit a button. Our dancing program, Dance Virtual, like it would be lovely to eventually get to all of these dances and have lessons for all of these dances. However, as we were explaining yesterday in our talk, we've only tackled salsa virtual so far. So our last is electronic music. And I think this is probably the most well-known example, I would assume, just because it's the youngest due to the instruments. And this is where you get your your robot moves, your dabbing, your floss.